Conservation Commission meeting is called to order. First thing, chair, member, and committee reports.
I don't have any.
Nothing. Do we have any emails or phone messages?
Nope,
Public inquiries.
nope.
We need to do some approval of minutes.
Yes, please.
First for May 8th, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, approve the minutes for May 22nd, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes for May 22nd.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, it says issuance of permits. We doing that now or later?
We're doing now.
Okay. DEP number 128-1940 for Putnam Pond.
Yes, so we closed our last meeting. GP had just issued the DEP number, so I didn't have the permit ready for signatures. So I would recommend a motion to issue the permit.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to close the issue.
I'm sorry,
of-
to issue the permit, yeah,
Or
I
issue the
misspoken,
permit.
yes.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right. Schedule of public hearings. First one, we have a notice of intent. I don't see a DP number. For 6 Gale Road, the applicant has submitted a notice of intent for the construction of a new shared driveway crossing with associated 1.5 to 1 wetland replication.
Yes, so the GP number actually was issued today.
Today!
Yes,
Our
but we'll be
fortuitous.
continuing this to our next public hearing scheduled for September 11 at 7 p.m.
All right, just a quick question, why we have to have.
Because it was just issued today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So I need a motion to continue.
Motion to continue.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Next one, we do have a DEP number, 128-1923 for 2B Curtis Hill Road
28.
and New, the 2B or 28?
28.
28.
Sorry, 28 Curtis Hill Road and New Spencer Road. The applicant has submitted a notice of intent for the construction of a 72-lot subdivision and associated grading.
Will be continued to September 11 at 7 p.m.
I need a motion.
Motion to continue.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This one's been continued for a while. Next, which we also have a DEP number, 1281926 for Lot 2, Southbridge Road. The applicant has submitted a notice of intent for the construction of a single-family home with septic system, well, driveway, and utilities.
We are waiting for revised paperwork, and so will be continued to September 11th at 7.
That's the one with the steep
Yes,
down to the river.
they finally got everything. They're just finalizing the revisions now.
Motion to continue?
Thank you. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All right. Here I was thinking you said.
Same thing on the next one, huh?
Yes,
Motion to
Deja vu.
continue.
Well, I gotta open it.
you got it.
So, 128-1927, Lot 3, Southbridge Road. The applicant has submitted a notice of intent for the construction of a single-family home with septic system, well, driveway, and utilities.
Continue to September 11 at 7.
You made the motion?
to- Yeah.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. You have another participant.
I'll look at some.
Hmm.
Yeah, once he gets to it.
All right. DP number 128-1851.
Yes,
Wow, it's an
Mark.
old one. 16 Sturbridge Road, the applicant has submitted a notice of intent for the proposed construction of a gas station and convenience store. Is that this gentleman?
Yeah, I know, Mark. No, he's not. We'll be continuing this.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
need a motion to continue.
Motion to continue.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving right along now.
Page
Oh,
2.
don't get
That's it,
screeching-
though, yeah.
To go into a
Is this
screeching
where the,
halt.
this is where the brakes start kicking? So, 128-1929, is that 288
Yep.
Southbridge Road? The applicant has submitted a notice of intent for the proposed construction of a battery energy storage system, access drive, transformers, inverters, meter, underground electric, and I'm not even gonna try to say that next word, it's like appurtenances within the buffer zone and existing disturbed areas.
Are you presenting at all?
I can. This is a lot
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Well, this is just, he was here on your last meeting, just giving us an update. We have been continuing for what, 6 months?
Yeah, there was some back and forth with Kurt on the use.
On zoning issues.
Or whether it was even allowed.
Something to do with a different property that was already using frontage, or I'm not really sure exactly what was happening, but.
So that held up the project. We had some little review from Graves.
Yep.
That was pending too, that has already been taken
Is this the
care
solar
of.
field up by the gas company?
Not solar field, it's just a battery storage. No solars.
It's to the right of the Incom building, there's another little building that's there.
Yeah.
It's in the back. There's like a gravel parking lot behind that they're gonna put 5 megawatt of, battery storage.
Yep.
Megawatts.
Yep.
I'm
So
ready
what are the
to,
updates, boss?
Well, there was a couple of drainage updates, just because we did test pits and it was gravelly material, so we had to update the drainage to reflect that. Other than that, there's really nothing that's changed. So it's all within existing gravel areas.
and they are like 20 feet from the BVW, there is really barely no disturbance. so
Yeah, there's an existing chain link fence at the back of the property, the BBW's behind the chain link fence.
Easy peasy, close and issue the order conditions.
Does anybody have any questions before we close this? Okay. I'm assuming there's no butters in here, so I need a motion to close the hearing
Motion
And
to
issue
close
the
hearing.
order.
and issue the order, sorry.
And issue the orders.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wow, we actually got approved. Next one, 128-1938, 35 North Main Street, not far from here. The applicant has submitted a notice of intent for the construction of a development of 40 multifamily
yeah.
housing units with work in the buffer zone of the wetland associated with a intermittent stream.
Will be continued till September 11th at 7 PM.
Need a motion to continue.
Motion to continue.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, I drove by there. That's gonna be funky, crazy. I'm like, how are you gonna fit that in there?
Shoehorn.
Yep.
All right, 128-1941, lot, this is 1-2,
East.
E. Bailiff Road. The applicant has submitted a notice of intent for the construction of a single-family residence driveway and associated site work within 100 feet of the buffer zone.
Go ahead, Jay.
Yep, so it's a single-family home, on a lot that has riverfront and buffer zone. We had to reconfigure these lots to push the house further away from the river, which we've done. We're under the 10% of the allowed riverfront disturbance area, all outside of the 100-foot inner riparian zone, so I think the closest work is maybe 120 feet or so to the river. And it's also within some areas of the buffer zone to the BBW as well. It's a house, septic, well, driveway. Do have a DEP number. They had a few additional requests that I did get to them.
It was when we're disturbing, altering the land within the riverfront area, now they're requesting some permanent demarcation, so he put boulders there. And also a deed restriction saying, recorded at the registry of deeds, saying that he will not be allowed to disturb any further. So, it is also part of A&R, which included some stormwater that was done prior, involving, the lot right, the lot right beside of it, right?
Well, there was 3 lots and then
It was
lot
3
two,
lots, so he
yeah.
did the stormwater drainage
Yeah.
for, the entire parcel of the lots.
Do you walk this?
Yeah, that was actually the first one that I did. We went there for, was the first one that I
Yeah,
went to.
it's mostly a field. It's mostly an existing
I was
field.
looking
Yeah.
at the topo lines, is it just?
It's a
just
gradual slope down
Gradual.
towards the tree line and then the river and the wetlands and in the woods.
There's one on the bottom too, like a arc.
This is down the hill before the old farmhouse.
It's, if you're going towards Sandersdale, the farmhouse is on the right. It's in the field, just past the farmhouse.
Past the farmhouse, yeah. Going down the road.
It's the
Was
opposite.
that part of the Kunkel property?
Yeah, yep.
Yep.
Do you have any comments?
No comments, I'm ready to recommend closing and
Anybody have a
issuing
question?
it.
I'm good.
Do you wanna make a motion to close and
To
issue?
close and issue the order conditions, please.
Do I have a motion to close and issue an order?
Motion closed. Condition.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Alright, you're 2 for 2.
Yeah. I don't think I have any
I
more.
can do it. I know how to do it.
I think you're done, right?
You wanna look at the agenda?
This is it. No, that's not him, that's Green Hill. Just come, I'll call you when it's ready, it'll be ready tomorrow. Okay. All right, thank you, Jay. Yeah, have a good night.
Let's keep it going, Ed, you're shooting for a record.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm gonna repeat that. Alright, 128-1942, 91 Blood Road. The applicant has submitted a notice of intent for the repair of a septic system for an existing single-family home within a riverfront area. So we have a failed septic, basically?
Yes,
Gee.
we do.
Is that the one where they cut the trees down by the old house there, on Blood
No,
Road?
no trees were cut. Oh. For Blood, no,
On
no
Blood
trees
Road.
were cut. Not on this, not on this. I was there today, pretty straightforward, 100 feet away from the stream. I'm sorry, here's where the previous one was. They're putting like probably 10, 15 feet to the side. It does slope down, but erosion control is gonna put it here, no work will be allowed past the water, so. Aren't they supposed to be joining the meeting?
Better to fix it and not keep
Let's see
leaking
what
into
that
the.
is.
This is Green Hill Engineering, remember?
Pretty straight.
On failed septic, do they expedite the permit process or no?
Who, DEP, you
DEP.
mean? They've been doing it, because as you can see, we still have things that have not been issued a number yet. And when they file for the septic, because, I am allowing a lot of septic repairs to be done, if they're outside the 50-foot buffer, go through an RDA, because what happens? If they have to wait a month,
people's
2
name?
Right.
months.
Yeah,
So this one was a riverfront area, so I don't have an option, they had to
Right.
file a notice of intent.
Right,
But they turn around in a week,
yeah. 'Cause this
so
is-
they
this-
gotta understand the
Right,
process.
the whole point we're trying to do is to save the wetlands.
Yeah,
We got sewer
so-
going in the wetlands.
Right, so they did,
Was
the
it a-
turnaround was
but-
fast.
what part of
Let's
the, septic failed?
Across
I don't
the
know.
street.
Yeah.
This is
I
out
just
in the
know they're
back.
abandoning it
Is that
and
it?
install a new one. So if you're going up Blood Road, you're passing the new constructions
Is that
on
the big yellow house?
Yellow House, no?
It's not yellow? Right next to the bridge?
It's a blue, yeah. It is, I was there today, yeah. So as you're going down Blood Road where all the new constructions are going on the right side, like the very new houses, you keep on going, that will be on your left side as you go down the road. It's for sale, so they're moving out,
It's-
but the
it's for
septic
sale?
failed, yeah,
So, okay. Oh, it's blue.
yes.
I think that's one of my houses.
Oh, your house is
I
that
built
area?
back in 85 or something.
Oh, okay. It's,
Yeah.
the backyard's very nice, the river is, it's a brook pretty much, but, I believe the representative is not on the call. If the commission has any question, I might answer. If I cannot answer, we can continue.
Continue?
I'm ready to close and issue it, but
Continue the
the
meeting, not.
the
continue it.
representative is not here.
Oh,
So if you have any question that I cannot answer, then we'll have to continue, that's what
Oh.
I'm saying, yeah.
I don't have any questions.
Any butters? I don't see anyone. I'll recommend closing and issuing it. I don't see any concerns with it.
Alright, well, I need a
I
motion
built
to,
9 houses here. That was,
close the
I'll make a-
hearing and
Make a
order
motion,
of
that
conditions.
was mine.
make a motion to close the hearing and issue the order of
Sold it.
conditions.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Who second?
Aye.
Okay. I have that back.
Right. Next, we have a request for determination of applicability for 29 Ramshorn Road. The applicant has submitted a request for determination of applicability for the replacement of a Title V septic system on site.
Hey, Mark. He'll
Hi,
be
can you hear me?
presented. Yes, we
Yep.
can.
Hi, how's everybody doing? Yes, we filed a request for determination. This is a septic repair on the existing house. The current system is in failure, and we
Yeah, that-
are,
Half of it's in
the repair is mostly all in existing grass area, and we are, over 50 feet away from the wetland, so we felt it would be, reasonable to request a determination of applicability here, and hopefully expedite the replacement process.
Yes, I was there today. They are over 50 feet. It's a condo, right? Is that
That's what
a,
it says.
is it a eight?
It's, this one is a small apartment.
It's a
yes,
small
actually, it is
apartment.
condo, right?
Yeah.
But this one is a three-family.
So it's just a repair.
There won't be any additional disturbance. It's already on a grassed area, so there won't be,
Is it a repair or replacement?
Mark, you were gonna,
It says
It's
replacement.
in
It's
Board of
both.
Health Title V code, it's a repair, but in practicality, it's a replacement of the entire system.
Gotcha.
So standard
And,
order.
we kept it up towards the road as much
well,
as
he
possible.
he
and kept
filed
it
for an RDA.
well away from the
So I
wetland
would
and the
I
well.
would recommend a negative determination, but with conditions.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we have any abutters?
Just a pump up.
You guys have any questions? Take out the bad, put in the new,
Gotta be done.
Yep.
so.
I'll recommend a motion for a negative determination with conditions.
Motion for negative determination with conditions.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next,
Next one, same thing.
so deja vu all over again. Request for determination of applicability, yep, 43 Ramshorn Road. Applicant has submitted a request for determination of applicability for the replacement of a Title V septic system on site.
Oh, yeah, there's the wetlands
Yeah,
on the
very,
side.
same owner, same owner applicant here. This is also a condo building. This is an 8-unit condo building, so the system is a bit larger. But this system, we're able to fit entirely in the front yard area.
I know.
With a retaining wall. So we're able to keep that way away from the wetland resource area. We are,
Yeah.
with the wall and a corner of leach field within the 100-foot buffer, and that's why we are before you here tonight, seeking a determination. And again, this is a repair under Title V code because there's no increase in flow, but in practicality, it's a complete replacement.
Whoops. Just curious, I know it's not really a conservation question, but how many square feet is this thing? Ballpark,
It is,
for an 8?
the actual leach field itself is about 30 by 72.
Wow.
We used a Presby system to get it to fit, which is just over 2,000 square feet. A conventional leach field may not fit in this location. It's a big system, and we were very limited on space between the wetland resource area and the existing well in the back. So it's really shoehorned in there.
6,000 gallons.
We're actually gonna have to move, utilities that feed the structure, because the only place we can put this is in the front yard where the electric service comes in. So we're actually gonna move the electric service as part of this. So
Where
it's
is
not
it?
it's not an easy replacement by any means, but that was the only really available space on the
Area.
lot.
Yikes.
I'll recommend a negative determination with conditions.
Negative determination with conditions.
Thank you. Second,
Second.
all approve?
Aye.
All right, ayes have it.
Thank you, Mark. Should I
Thank you, everybody.
send that to you directly? Mail to?
Yes, please.
Yep.
That'd be great.
All right, have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Yep.
You too.
Is this anywhere near you?
Okay,
South Shop, Middle Road?
another request for determination of applicability.
No.
No,
No, that one wasn't.
Oh, excuse me, 79 Leland Drive. The applicant has submitted a request for determination of applicability to remove 6 trees within 100 feet of South Charlton Reservoir. Are these right on the water or close to the water, or what's the deal here?
Just out of order.
No, there's a bunch of trees there.
I have a little drawing. One of the trees are closer to the water, but, most of them are not. The
Are they like-
closest,
Are you taking them off from behind the house?
oh, you have it there, yeah, yep.
You're just gonna cut them, you're not gonna stump them or
No,
anything?
it's stump removal. The only reason he filed is because it's more than 5 trees, otherwise I would have allowed under,
Go back.
administrative approval. Is that the house?
It's a nice house. This is the house. That one.
Yes, the closest is the one.
Good to me.
So down
That
this,
one.
yeah.
That's the closest, maybe 25, 30 feet.
So you were saying negative conditions, or
Negative determination of conditions, yeah.
any questions for the board?
Nope.
Do we have a motion for a negative with conditions?
Make a motion for negative determination with conditions.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, next, another request for determination of applicability for, 62 Hanson Road. The applicant has submitted a request for determination of applicability for the removal of 7 trees
Same,
within 100 feet
I'm
foot
so-
buffer zone of a BVW.
same thing here, additional 2 trees, otherwise it could be under administrative approval. One of the trees though it's right,
On the water.
no, there's no water, it's right, probably less than 10 feet from the BVW, it sits right on the line. It's really massive, it's leaning towards the house. I'll put some conditions there to make sure the resource area is not being,
So they don't go in there.
they're not
dig it up.
entering the resource area, and they're gonna be cutting flush to the ground, no stump removal. So, but that's where the area is, there, he's not in the water, it's just a. I had been to that area before, Hanson Road.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's just showing me trees.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. It's very hard to see the property because the trees are really, really
Wow.
massive, yeah, thank you,
Oh, it's off Carroll Hill Road. Oh, okay.
yeah.
So same thing, negative,
Now, recommend a negative determination with conditions.
do I have a motion?
Motion for a negative determination with conditions.
Thank you.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Too late.
The ayes have it.
Okay,
Next, it says certificate of compliance. DEP number 128-1690 for 7 Pineland Road.
I have not had the time to review it, so I'll push it to the next meeting.
So,
Do you motion
Just-
it?
no.
No?
okay. Extensions,
None?
okay. The fun part. Enforcement and violations. It says enforcement order, DEP number 128-1889.
This is related to the Amazon, stormwater
The Sibley
Fine with that.
Pond.
discharge into Sibley Pond, yep. So they did, came in front of us, we issued an enforcement order for all that, they did provide a sediment sampling reports, which I believe I have mailed to you all. After analyzing, I won't go through the entire report, I have pictures and everything, but after analyzing all the 14 samples that they collected, there was evidence that only 2 of the locations of a thin surface layer of sediment that was different than the remainder of the sediment core. The
there's a
conclusion
little
is
bit
that, yeah, but they can't really prove that it came from them. It is just so minimal that there's no way of removing them.
Gotcha.
So there is no strong conclusive evidence of the extensive recently, within the past several years, eroded sediments from Amazon warehouse site deposited in Lower Sibley Pond, since only 2 out of 14 samples locations showed a very thin different surface layer. Nor is this an amount or sediment that can be or should be removed from the pond. An attempt to remove such a thin layer of sediment would cause substantially more harm to the habitat than leaving the sediment in place.
Gotcha.
So, clearly it was done by wetland scientists. I don't have reasons to request to be peer reviewed by any means. I would at this point, if the commission is in agreement to lift the enforcement order that was issued to them, and I'll need a motion for that.
Any questions from the board? Okay. Any motion to lift?
And
Yeah,
for the record, there has not been any additional runoff into the pond since then.
Need a motion to lift the enforcement order?
Motion to lift the enforcement order.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi,
Hey,
Aye. And the next one,
is that,
EPA report, DEP one.
What was the outcome on Pineland?
I have
She
not,
hadn't- she
I
hadn't had a
haven't
chance to
been,
review it,
yeah,
yeah.
I have not been there.
EPA report 128-1629, is that the one that was sent to me?
This is, no, this is 60 City Depot Road,
our pal?
or
Jay,
Jay Goodroy. I can't pronounce his last name, Goodroy. I believe I have sent the reports to all of you, but I'll pass around. I don't see the need to be discussing the entire report, but I think few topics that we should just go over it. For instance, I made a little note for myself. The lack of slope stabilization that we have been requesting. The property owner was fined $15,000 last year for stormwater violations by the federal government, and to date, the site is not in compliance with either in the municipal, state, or federal regulations. As concerning as the accusations made by him on that EPA report, I would like to just go over a few of them.
I saw this, yeah, you emailed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I did, yep. So related to the slope stabilization, an EPA inspector discussed the lack of slope stabilization and suggested utilizing mulch. The response from the property owner was, Mr. Goodroy claimed that the Conservation Commission told him that he could not mulch it. I don't recall ever this commission making that assessment. All conversation related to his site stabilization between my office, it has been done in writing, and I don't have any record of such a request or decision. Related to the lack of the swale stabilization and runoff, EPA inspectors suggested that the installation of check dams would be wise to slow down the flow of the runoff. And I quote, Mr. Goodroy claimed that he had installed check dams in this well, but the Conservation Commission asked him to remove the check dams.
Okay.
So again, related to the detention basin at the southeast section of the site, quote, Mr. Goodroy said that the slopes of the basin had been vegetated, but then he was instructed to remove the vegetation by the Conservation Commission. Quote, Mr. Goodroy continued to express frustration, saying that he was receiving conflicting instructions on how to manage the site and that he was not doing anything wrong. So I don't know if the commission would like to comment on all those comments coming from him. As you all know, all communications with this individual have been via email. This process started once all departments realized that he was twisting everyone's words, so no recommendations being left is being done in writing or anything. I don't have any recollection of myself or this commission making of these recommendations or enforcement order that have been clear and requested him to stabilize the sites. Like, our job is not to provide him instruction on how to manage his sites. This is his job, which clearly he's failing to do. With the commission's permission, I would like to issue a response letter to all his comments, and along with our second enforcement order of the year, and that is related to the fact that his order condition has expired. So he cannot disturb any additional land until, the NOI has been submitted and order conditions has been issued. And that was per guidance from DEP.
And that response letter will get CC'd to the EPA, right?
Yes,
And they're still waiting for their $16,700 as well.
I can't comment, I'm not quite sure yet.
Is there any fact in this thing?
Beside his words, no,
Or
sir.
his statements?
Well, that's why I would like this commission to agree to a letter be in response to his comments, because again, when reports from EPA are issued, that we're just waiting for them, when we're waiting for quite a while and it wasn't coming, and then I received a call from them directly asking for a meeting, which is very unusual. So it clearly wasn't a comfortable meeting when I'm pretty much being asked, if I'm doing the opposite of what my job is. And, I explained that unfortunately that it is a pattern that he has of,
This is the EPA.
yeah. So I explained what the relationship has been since the beginning, and that they pretty much was just giving me a heads up of what the report was going to be, and then I pretty much told them, go ahead, write a report. All communications in this commission, my office has been in writing. I don't have any recollection of any type of recommendations. There is no reason why I would request him to remove check dams of a swale, which the check dams are very, very necessary on that swale to slow down the water. You have been to that site, you said yourself, it looks like a
I've been
river.
here several times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check dams are very important to be there, so I won't,
I don't even know if mulch would hold.
Not on that steep of a slope.
Usually you need those, like, wattle mats.
right, so.
And the blankets.
And that's why I need to just, reiterate how important it is that we do not give him instructions on anything, on methods, on materials to be used, because it's going to
Be twisted.
be twisted, so,
I know the
That's
several
why all
times
the-
I've been there, no recommendations
yeah,
ever
so,
been made.
right, so I'm always make sure to instruct, Pete when he goes there, listen, taking pictures, and leave. Everything's in writing, I don't recommend how to manage his site, that's something he should be doing with his engineers, so. I would like to have a motion to have a response letter, which I'll bring back, to the next meeting for your signatures, but I must issue the enforcement order for the lack of order conditions, because he cannot continue work until a new, permit has been filed. So I need a motion for the letter
You
and
need
for the
two-
enforcement order.
2 motions.
No, we can do it once. Well, actually, you need 2 motions, yes, thank you.
All right, so I need a motion for the.
Response letter for
Response
the,
letter.
Motion for the response letter.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. And then I need a motion for a second enforcement order, correct?
correct, that's related to the, order conditions being expired.
And
Has he got people living in that last house yet?
the one that he just built, I don't think so.
No, he's still working
No,
on it, I
they're still
believe.
vacant.
I don't know if he's got COI.
I'm not, I'm not.
Kurt's giving
The
us
the last
COI.
time I was there, they were vacant. They were spraying grass, hydro. That was it.
Because there's people living in the one to the right,
Yep, all the way.
and then to the left, the first one.
Yep.
And then the second one on the left?
The latest one he just built.
No,
is-
that's, yeah, no, okay. So-
Anyways, do I have a motion for the,
Yes.
bringing this back, do I have a motion to, issue the second enforcement?
Enforcement, I make a motion to issue a second enforcement order for
Compliance.
expired order conditions.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we're at old new business.
Just remind me.
This
to
time
have
I'll
them
actually
sign
run.
this.
It says, pre-development stormwater discussion, Highland, is it Highland?
Highland Road, yeah,
Down by Cranberry Meadow.
yeah. So,
What's up with that?
well, I just giving a little back information, and also adding some, stormwater stuff to it. As you may know, September is around the corner, and it is time for the stormwater annual report that the town needs to file with EPA. So since we'll be discussing stormwater tonight, I'd like to take the opportunity to check one of the box of the town's EPA MS4 permit, which is public education. So I'll be using this matter as an example of why we enforce the stormwater rules and regulations. So forgive me if I'm very detailed, or if you already know, I'm just trying to pass the information along. It's a very, good example of what we handle in the office on a daily basis with, stormwater and our regulations. Having said that, I have been working with the property owner, Chris Hanson, he's on the call right now, for the lots in question located on Highland Road in relation to stormwater. These lots are part of an approved A&R with a total of 5 lots. Our regulation states that any development or redevelopment involving multiple separate activities in discontinuous locations or in different schedules, if the activities are part of a large common plane of development that altogether disturbs 43,560 square feet or more, which is an acre, a land disturbance application must be filed with us. The initial conversation with the property owner was related to complying with the town's stormwater regulations. A plan for one of the lots was submitted with the calculations and stormwater drainage was proposed. However, it didn't have any backup information. I think I happily sent that email. Some of you were involved. At that point, the applicant requested to be in front of the commission to discuss the lack of stormwater drainage analysis report and to request a waiver. I explained to him that the commission did not review stormwater calculations or discuss stormwater increase until said materials were reviewed by Graves Engineering. The chair, Tom O'Malley, emailed the property owner to explain the same. After further discussions with the property owner, he decided to disturb less than 1 acre. Therefore, he will not need to comply with the regulations in full. The plans that were submitted to me showed the following land disturbance. For lot 2, the disturbance was plus or minus 10,665 square feet. For lot 3, plus or minus 12,335 square feet. Lot 4, plus or minus 10,428 square feet. Lot 5, 9,974 square feet, with the total disturbance being 43,402. Now the 1 acre disturbance is 43,560. As you can see, he's proposed to be just 100 square feet below the 1 acre. The property owner, Chris, he visited the office a few weeks ago, expressing concerns associated to the fact that this commission was involved with the project, even though the lots were not within a resource area. I explained that the town of Charlton must comply with the permit that is called MS4. This permit is issued by EPA and mandates the town to enforce stormwater rules and regulations, and this commission is the enforcing authority, whether the project triggers the Wetlands Protection Act or not. That's a very big, confusing topic for a lot of residents when they start to develop and they are not within the wetlands, they're not within a river, a stream, a creek. So, but they are part of A&R that together disturbs more than acres, but they don't understand why they need to come in front of the commission. So that pretty much is what happens to Chris. So it was that point that we had to clarify. He also expressed concerns related to going over 1 acre of disturbance, which is understandable because he's 100 square feet from it. He stated that his workers might disturb more than the proposed if they needed to. I then, in the presence of the planning board director and the building commissioner officer, I explained that given the fact that he was soliciting that information, I would be recommending the commission to have a peer review assessing the lots to determine if combined, the lots would have disturbed more than 1 acre. And if that was the case, the commission would then enforce the regulations and you would have to comply with such regulations after the fact, which is a common practice of this commission when we enforce violations under the Wetlands Protection Act. If someone, disturbed without filing a permit, they need to file after the fact and comply with the regulations. So we haven't done that with stormwater because it just hasn't happened yet. But it could not, but again, I just thought that just was a very, interest situation that we might be running into more often, so I'd like to really bring the details to the commission. I also mentioned that he should have at least some type of drainage for the roof and the driveway runoff as it was initially proposed. And not only because he would go over more than an acre, but also there is one lot left to be developed. The A&R has 5 lots, he owns 4. So the regulations is clear. If you're disturbing more than one lot, but he's not disturbing more than one lot, but once number 1 or the property one chooses to develop, which is a point that he actually brought up, what's gonna happen when they develop it, and I mentioned that they would have per regulations to accommodate the runoff for all the 4 lots. And clearly that's not fair, and that's why the regulations are in place. Few days later, I was informed that he contacted the town administrator with the same concerns. At that point, I called Tom, explained the situation, and Tom asked to have him on the agenda so the commission could discuss this matter and try to find the best for both of us, for all of us. Chris is here. He did talk to me in the via email for the few
Excuse me,
days.
okay.
I'm sorry, through the chair, Chris has been back in the waiting room, so
Oh.
you need to admit him again.
Oh. What happened to him?
It must have kicked him out, but he is the Chris one, you should need to admit.
There we go. Sorry, Chris, I don't know what happened.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
So he had been talking to him via emails, and he did express again that he would like to be disturbing, still under an acre, but I'll let him address the commission directly. Chris, are you there?
He's on mute.
Do you wanna unmute yourself? Let's give him a minute. Should I unmute? Oh, I think maybe I have to do that. Oh, no, I don't. I need to ask them.
You
Can you
can't.
hear me?
Oh, yes, now we can. I'm sorry, I don't know how you went back to the waiting room. This is a new process for us. I did admitted you back, so I didn't notice earlier. Were you able to hear the whole conversation prior to you leaving?
No, because the agenda had said that it was at the end, so I was gonna jump on about 7:30, 8 o'clock, because I was like, that at the end of the hearing, so
Okay,
I didn't know what we talked about first, right? It usually goes in order, right?
what'd you say?
He usually goes in order. Yes, you're right.
Yes,
Yep.
it goes in order, yeah. So I gave them,
I'm down at the end of the hearing, so I wasn't expecting to be on
yeah.
so early, sorry about
it-
that.
All right, now it goes fast. So I gave so I don't have to repeat, I gave the commission an overview since we started this
Yep.
discussion. I let them know the lots 2, 3, 4, and 5, total disturbance, which is pretty, close to 100 square feet below, you reaching 1 acre of disturbance. I mentioned to them your concerns related to, maybe going over it with, things related with workers on the site. I did explain to them that I would like to see some drainage for the roof and the driveway runoff that it was initially proposed. And not only because you might go over an acre, not by choice, but if it happens, but also, as you brought up on your last conversation in person, that we still have lot 1 that might be developed, and that person would have to accommodate stormwater for your lots.
So, yeah,
So yes, you can address the commission now.
yeah, so basically my concerns were, we initially made designs, Liz had made designs by engineer. We had brought them to Rose, it showed you the roof and gutter drainage, correct? Rose?
Yes,
Okay, so these plans here, my engineer felt, again, were sufficient for the site, with the area that was being disturbed. There's no resource areas or anything else that was gonna be affected.
So my engineer had thought that these were sufficient, what was shown on the plan. So we submitted these 2 rows, I guess Rose took a look at them and, basically said that, that they're incomplete. At that point, I tried to ask whether these plans could be peer reviewed by another engineer to see their input, because understand the commission might feel that my plans and my engineer is gonna work in my interest. So other people can take a look at this plan and, see what their opinions are on it. If what my engineer was proposing would be enough to handle the stormwater based on soils, resource areas, depending on where the water is. So I just wanted that to be heard, before getting into a major stormwater design. Because the 43,000 square feet, if you really think of it, I mean, lots in, if it's state law, I understand that. But if you have, lots in Worcester that are 7,000 square feet, you come to Charlton, you need 60,000 square feet, and you have wells and septics, it's almost impossible to, build on 4 lots.
Yep.
And not clear 43,000 square feet. I mean, I could understand if it's in, maybe that size is in Worcester if you're making a 5 A&R lot plan, but I mean, those numbers just don't seem too reasonable to me based on, what I had for soils there, what we had for resource area there. I just didn't understand the protection aspect of putting the stormwater in. What were we protecting at that point? What was the reason for it? That's all we wanted to be heard, I understand there is a bylaw there that you guys, that has to be, but I wanted my engineer to be at a public hearing to address what they felt is sufficient for my particular site.
Correct.
And that was really it, that's where this all started. Because I wasn't gonna go and, without it being heard, spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on, lots that are located on a private way and have no resource areas. We're not even in any buffer zone. We don't even need notices of intent. So, that's really all. There was no malice intended. It's just, I wanted the commission in the, to hear it out before it went any further.
Yeah, and Chris, I'm just gonna only interrupt you for that because you did miss when I started. I did mention that to them and I explained to them that my response was that the commission, the reason that it was not brought to the public hearing is that the commission does not review stormwater calculations. And the commission does not discuss stormwater increase until something is reviewed by Graves. We're not engineer, we don't have the experience, so we only discuss the regulations, so that's why Tom O'Malley emailed you directly, because bringing that information to the commission, we would sit here and listen, but we wouldn't be able to make a decision because we could never say, yes, I believe that the calculations you provided me is sufficient, or no, I don't think it's sufficient.
Correct.
So that's the reason why that it was
Correct.
never put on the agenda.
If the commission had a peer review on
We-
the initial design that my engineer made,
Which we requested
remember
to,
the ones with the
Right.
driveway and the gutter drainage? If
yes,
another
and I
engineer-
said, once that is submitted, I will be sending to Graves, right, but we never get to that point.
Okay, but you're not, you gotta let me finish the sentence.
Sure,
I had asked if that plan could have been peer reviewed by another engineer, because if my engineer, again, a licensed engineer, is saying that this should be sufficient for this site, with the characteristics of the soil, the land, the location, have that plan reviewed by another engineer to remove any doubt that the commission may have, and put that in front of them. If the other engineer says, look, there's no way you can do this, you need full stormwater because of this, and this is why you need it, then of course, we'd have to go back and do it because we have a disagreement on it. But we were never given that opportunity, that's all I'm saying. We just wanted to be heard on it, and that was never given. We proposed a minor stormwater plan, you know, on a 34 by 24 house lot, house box, and I'm leaving almost over an acre of undisturbed vegetation, you know, and so I just wanted to know the reasoning behind it. If another engineer had cleared the gates in overview, I'd be more than happy to pay for the peer review at that time. Whatever it may be, for them to tell me why it's not sufficient or why not. It's one step at a time. Before we go full-blown stormwater with calculations like I'm building a car dealership, it needs to be looked at on a minor level. If that is not sufficient to another engineer, then take it to the major. This is all just taken way out of context. That's all I was looking for.
Okay,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I can respond to that. During that,
Okay, well, I'm just letting you know. That's
Right, well,
where this is coming
can she answer your question,
and
please?
I understand that, and I recall that, and I also recall saying that please file so I can submit it just to Graves Engineering. And the response from your engineer was if she submitted those plans the way it was submitted, he would deny the application. He would say that was incomplete. So there was never there was a submission request to go through peer review. But I think that at this point, this is pretty much in the past. So I would like really to look at what we have now so we can go to a right direction and end this whole conversation. Are you in agreement
I
with
just
that?
want to make sure that
Yeah. Now, the commission is aware the emails were all public records. They have been included in the emails.
Do we have a plot plan here of those lots?
So he has not, are you there, Chris? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, because I thought he was, here.
Like another conversation.
Did you hear it? Yeah.
Saying on a plan, I'd be more than happy to.
So he did not submit any plan to us. I have the little,
Yeah,
I have the
there's a
little,
plot plan on these
yeah,
lots.
I have the little ones that he submitted, so at least you have an, I'm passing around the ones that she submitted with the disturbance without any of the stormwater,
Yeah, right.
gutters or anything, so you have an idea where the location is. Then this is
So
for
our
lot
plan
two.
the whole time was I was gonna show it a 34 by 24 box. We were only gonna probably disturb about 15 to 20,000 square feet. I was gonna leave the rest of the rear, they were just gonna be frontage lots, minimal setback, right at the setback line, minimal disturbance, so, I mean, I thought what we were proposing was reasonable when we first came in with, the driveway drainage and the gutter. I mean, that's pretty standard today. Of course, you guys want the water kept on site.
One of
Not
the lots, the
unreasonable. That's
entrance is
not
from the other
unreasonable.
side.
Okay, so that's gotta be that one.
You know, if another engineer
one lot.
and look at the site and look at the soils and understand if it's reasonable or not unreasonable,
I don't know if I agree with this.
that's a little hard for me to believe.
I almost
So,
agree with
So
him.
Chris, we have the process that everyone has to follow.
Yeah.
We're just
So
trying
if
to
you
follow
have-
the regulations and
you
make
have
sure
five
that we're
lots,
treating
okay.
everybody the same way and not setting any precedents.
Excuse me,
Absolutely.
Mitch.
Right,
just-
so,
disturb
so
it.
when we receive the stormwater,
I
things
think so.
like that,
Yeah.
the first course of action is
believe
sending it to Graves Engineering. Until
I'm gonna
that
have to
is done,
research that
the
stormwater.
commission won't comment
Excuse me,
on
can we
it.
have one at a time, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm just trying to tell him that until any type of stormwater is submitted to Graves Engineering, the commission won't comment on it. And unfortunately, the submission that was made to me was not enough to go to Graves, so we're kind of going back and forth, might have got lost in some kind of discussion, and then finally, we came with the solution, why don't you disturb less than an acre? But when he came back with those plans showing disturbance less than 1 acre, I noticed that the little stormwater that he was proposing before now are gone, so that became a concern to me. And that's why I'm
When you-
bringing it from the
You say
commission.
stormwater, you mean making sure that
I mean, I am not,
Like
again,
where the runoff goes.
just for the roof and the drainage,
Right.
that's what he had proposed
making sure
before.
it's not water going off the.
Right, right.
So that data is missing now.
It's not what he's proposing now, so I went back to him and I noticed that you're not proposing anymore, and he said, he said he wouldn't be proposing it, and that's, I just feel a little concerned with that. Whether he's underfoot or an acre or not, I do believe that at least some type of runoff.
So, the initial plans were shown that.
Yes. Well, only
I
one
wasn't
plane, I
sure
only
that-
saw one plane initially for lot
Yep, but
two,
we,
yeah.
because what we were doing is, we were using that as a preliminary plan to see where this was gonna take us. So if that plan was sufficient and you said, okay, that this is gonna be sufficient.
Right, but that's not a
For this
decision that I
site?
could make, unfortunately.
Yeah, I understand,
Yeah.
I just think that, going by the book sometimes is, I think things need to be heard out, I understand I think just things need to be heard out on locations, areas of disturbance, and there should just be a little bit more of like, a hearing on concerns. And then if it has to go further, it does, but I think if you look at well and septic and the kind of lots that you have in the area, 43,000 square feet for an A and R plan of 5 lots, who's gonna be able to do that?
And,
That's basically
right,
saying no, and then you have a single family home that's loaded
That's
with
why it's
wetlands
gonna
and
be
riverfront,
overnight.
and you don't have
There's
to
no
do,
way
you
you
don't
won't pass.
have
It's
to
plus
do
or minus-
stormwater
plus
because
or
it's
minus
only a
one.
single
Right.
family.
You're gonna blow through that.
Right, but Chris, with all due respect, it sounds like if I'm
Yeah.
understanding you, you're not happy with the stormwater regs.
We don't
But
have any
we
control.
don't have a choice in the matter of how we enforce it.
Yeah, of course, correct. It's not that it's not that I was upset. It's the fact that, if we wanted to bring a concern to the board and the commission, I think that's a civil right matter, that anybody has the concern, they're allowed to bring it there and discuss the matter. Am
Which-
I wrong about that?
which
So,
through the chair.
That's
I-
not, that was never broached. I'm
Right.
just saying, I'm trying to reiterate what you brought up.
Yeah.
You've made several
His
points
disturbance on
where you
four
could
lots
do
is
one
less.
development, get away with this, but when you have multiple developments, you can't, and you don't think that's fair. And that's what the impression I'm getting. And what I'm trying to tell you is, we didn't write the stormwater. We don't have the leeway to say, well, we're gonna enforce it here and not there. It doesn't work that way.
Right. Yeah, I understand, but I think, you know what I mean, if you look at it, I respect everybody that's on the commission. It's just if you look at, I think certain sites need it and certain sites don't. I understand if you do it for one, you have to do it for somebody else, but it's, I think it's, if somebody's proposing a minor stormwater and another engineer reviews it and says it's okay, I don't understand why, a major would have to be done, on certain sites that just don't call for it. I gotta cut more trees down and stick in all this infrastructure. I'm basically taking away vegetation instead of leaving it, right?
That's where we leave it up to the engineers to decide.
You see what I'm saying, though? I'm taking down trees, I'm clearing area to put stuff in the ground, and the trees are probably gonna do the same work.
That's,
If I'm not
again,
disturbing it.
I am leaving it up to engineers to decide that.
You're right. But that's, okay, so that's why I wanted to have the engineer take a look at my plan, and that was shut down too, so.
It wasn't shut
I-
down,
I-
it wasn't enough information, so much that your engineer agreed, and I have it in an email, that if she had submitted as it was, Graves would have said it was incomplete. So it was a really
Okay, that's fine. I get
catch
it.
22, it was, again, we're all trying to work together, it's the first time it happened, so, we're trying to bring what's the best for everybody, but we still have a
Yeah.
job to do and a bylaw to enforce, so.
So if his,
Yeah,
if he adheres to the disturbance areas that his engineers have, if he adheres to that, there's not a problem, correct?
Well, the only problem is his lot itself is almost at 1 acre, but we have another lot left that's not his. So if that
I
lot
just
chose
wanted
to
for the lady-
Well,
disturb,
there's a fifth lot?
yeah,
lot
so
Part
of
of the
course
A&R.
that's gonna go over an acre, so hence,
And he's only,
basically, it's making that poor old lady's lot unbuildable.
well, that's why,
But-
that's what I'm trying to explain, right, and that's why that's why the regulation's in place, so things like that doesn't happen, so that's why your lots must comply with the regulations, so when she builds, she will
It'll be
also
o-
comply with the
it'll be over an
regulations.
acre.
And it combined together, it'll be over an acre. Now, I'm gonna, that's my recommendation to the commission, to make sure, is that to treat this project, I understand that it is your goal to stay below 1 acre, but I don't feel comfortable without you having any type of stormwater proposed. And I believe the commission feels the same way.
Just
And
to-
that is just
So
one
if-
issue.
If it's under 1 acre and that's what we propose, I mean, really,
You're
there's
only
there's
under by
no,
100
you know,
feet,
there's no
square feet.
jurisdiction there.
There
So,
is,
you know.
there
Well,
is.
it can't be an opinion if you need gutters and roofs, that's an
No,
opinion.
I'm
You know,
not,
if it's
I'm not
under the foot-
suggesting what you're gonna be, proposing. I'm
Yeah.
just telling you that
Yeah,
the total disturbance will be over an acre, whether you stay below or not, because we need to count the 5th lot. And we're missing that part.
yeah, well, the 5th lot, I don't know if they may be, I don't know, but in the middle, there's a wetland in the middle there. I don't
Yes,
know if that is a vernal pool, I don't know that. I don't know, I didn't have a wetland scientist look at it, but
yeah,
that
but they
lot
did, now,
may not be a buildable lot anyways, depending on how that is, you know, stated in a wetland report.
and also, they do have access from Ethiopia Road, correct, for that lot?
Yes, yeah, all those lots, you can run EPA, you just have to go through Spencer.
So, yeah,
the east
can I
side,
just have
but-
that? Yeah, Chris, just give me a second. Can I show you that for you guys? And here's the reason why I was comfortable with him staying under an acre, but having the stormwater. And here's why. It is not part of our regulations, and I understand that, but if this lot is developed, lot 1, there is a very large, it doesn't show here, let's pretend that this is the lot. There is a very large wetland here. This is the lot that we granted a waiver for the property owner across the street that was discharging his sump water into that resource area. So we gave him the waiver because it became a hardship for he had no way of if we didn't allow that, he would lose his property. So if the property owner of that lot 1 chooses to disturb and to develop, the only way for her to do so, or at least the smart way for it to be done, would to have access from Ethiopia Road, which the driveway would be cutting from Spencer instead. And given that the runoff would be from a whole different location, do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
It's
different
not gonna
town.
be, it's not gonna be, back to his lots. So I know the regulation does not mention anything like so, but given that he was staying under the 1 acre, but he had some type of accommodations for the roof runoff and for the driveway runoff, I felt that I was trying to work with him. But then when the plans came back without that, and then I was starting to get concerned, and then he brought his concerns to me, so I thought that it was time to bring it from the commission, so it
Yeah.
is I'm trying to help, I really am, and, you know, if,
Then the driveway drainage.
So what do you
Just
mean?
one question. I'm a little-
Yeah.
Excuse me, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused. So he's doing the 4 lots,
yes,
and is part of the A&R, is there another lot that he's not doing?
that he does not own,
He doesn't know,
yes.
but it's still part of the same A&R.
Yes, and as I read before, our regulations,
So,
yeah.
real quick, if the 4 of us are buying this, Jackie builds the 5th, this is all 5 part of the same A&R.
Yes.
When she goes to build, it's gonna trip the stormwater.
Yes,
And then
and
it's
if
gonna
she's-
all pull us all in.
per regulation, she'll be responsible to
yeah.
accommodate all your lots'
The thing is,
stormwater runoff.
we can't worry about what's gonna happen next year or 10 years.
It doesn't
on
matter, that's why the regulation is clear, the regulation says, any development or redevelopment involving multiple separate activities in discontinued locations or in different schedules if the activities are part of a larger common plan of development that altogether disturbs 1 acre. This is straight from E
Let me-
EPA.
Yeah, let me also just make this statement. The lady that made this plan, this A&R plan was signed off by the planning board in 1996 and recorded.
Yeah.
So at the time of the development of the land, if the landowner knew
But-
that the regulations would, hold on, the regulations would be there today, they probably would have proposed 4 lots.
Right, but that,
You know, so you
yeah,
have to look at that too. Without-
He's got a point, is there any grandfathering?
no, he doesn't get a point, I
You have
mean,
to look at that.
look
You
at,
have
look
to
at building,
that.
look at
There's
building,
no
building codes.
disclosure.
If you,
I understand that, but you have to look,
That's
if I
my
was
point.
gonna
So
make that
what do we need
plan
him to
today,
do? Do we
Rose,
need
I
new
would
plans?
put the A&R
He needs
plan at
stormwater.
4 lots.
But it's,
maybe not
that's
full compliance.
water over the
some.
bridge at this point.
Yeah,
So you need, do you need him to resubmit plans that show stormwater in order to get it peer reviewed? Is that what we need?
Right, so that, the
Trying to
part,
find out what we need.
what this is all about,
We're just gonna we're staying under an acre, and
But it's
that's the end of
plus
the
or
day.
minus.
I was just trying to work with Rose, saying
It
that Charlton Wells needed a little bit of space.
Uh,
And she's saying if
he's
you
not getting
go
it.
over
He
an
needs
inch,
to
you know,
file.
I just feel like this doesn't go anywhere. These lots were made in 1996.
Oh, what good.
That the owner of the lot, the owner of the land had no idea.
If they don't own that fifth lot,
it
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter.
That's
Yeah,
what
I'm
the
saying.
regulations
He
say.
can't, he can't do any stormwater,
He'll do
work
for
on
his
that lot.
No,
lots.
right, but he has to do it for his, she
For
wants
his.
something for
Yeah,
his
but,
lot.
but you still,
We're asking
no
him
matter where you
to,
put the storm,
we're asking for
stormwater
him
from,
to do the
he
regulations
has to
for his
consider the
lots.
runoff from that fifth lot.
No,
No.
that lot has to consider its runoff onto the other lots. It cannot let its runoff go onto these lots,
Yeah, we're not asking to accommodate
that fifth
any
lot.
other lot. We're asking him to accommodate his own lots. And as far as things being
Yeah, so-
approved at 20, 2, 3, 4 decades ago, it is just like, that's not even
Well, you gotta
a
look at that,
topic.
though, like if somebody doesn't.
These regulations were approved in 2021. Of
Okay.
course, in 20 years, there was no
We're not- we're
anything.
not
Are
going
these
to-
regulations or they're laws? The
They are-
regulations.
They're regulations.
well,
So,
regulations are.
We have,
plus or minus, been here, been there, like any other conservation issue.
No,
Mitch,
no,
these
no,
are
there's no
bylaw,
leeway.
you don't bend
I understand what you're
bylaws.
saying, but I have my thoughts also, so
But-
respect them, please.
It's not,
You
but
can
we
have
need to
your
follow the
thoughts, but we have to
regulations.
comply.
But
Please.
we're so close,
But that's part of the problem too. He's only
What I
100
wanna
square
do-
feet
what I
underneath an
wanna do-
acre. What,
mean,
I just don't agree with it. I
Commission
just,
here.
don't- I think we can make exceptions here and there.
We
We
can't.
can't.
yeah,
It's a regulation, it's not a law.
It is a
It's a
bylaw.
it's a town
I'm-
bylaw.
I'm not
It's a
sure-
town bylaw.
Don't start yelling at me
I'm not-
now, please, keep your voices down, let's be civil.
But-
I don't agree with it.
Which
We're
part of
civil.
this don't you
You
understand?
approved these regulations. You voted on it. We are imposed by
Then
EPA
I'll
to
make a-
enforce the
I'll propose to
regulation.
change them.
You can't
Go-
change it.
Okay.
We
I'll
must
quietly tell you, go to the Boston Town
go
Hall,
to EPA and then ask
do
them.
your
I'm
best.
just saying, at this, right now, after hearing this gentleman's problem, and it's a problem,
That's why I brought
it's
to
a
the
costly
commission.
problem, I don't agree with it.
You can't change your
Okay.
bylaw.
You folks agree with
Yeah.
it, fine. You
It's
will.
not that
It
we
is not-
agree,
it's not a
complying with
personal
the law.
matter.
I'm not really sure where you're missing
Yeah.
this.
I'm gonna do some research myself, so.
You do that, and
I'm not making any determination tonight, so.
It's not a
But I don't have to.
determination to be made, you don't have to. What I need to, and that's the reason why I try to bring this to you. It is a bylaw that the town must comply because we're forced and mandated by the federal government to do so. There's no bending it.
We don't even have a place to drain.
All right, can we move on? If you're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be discussing
If I-
person, it is
If Mitch
personal,
wants to say something, let's move on.
it is
well,
a
if you're not
personal
gonna do your
opinion.
job, Mitch, then maybe you should consider.
I gotta get
resigning.
home, I'm hungry.
It's not a, it's
If you're
a
not gonna comply with the laws,
personal
that's what you're
opinion.
supposed to be
I'm not
doing.
gonna be discussing
Well,
personal
fine.
opinion.
What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna keep everything under the acre.
No, he's
I'm
not
trying
understanding.
to
Can you
get
please let him know? It,
you know,
If everybody
Chris,
agreed, it'd be a hell of a law.
Chris, can you explain to him that he's under,
You're only under by 100
But
square
it doesn't
feet.
matter how much you're under, because once the other lot gets
Right.
developed,
Yeah.
it's gonna
Okay.
trip the stormwater.
so
That's
you
the
have to
whole
comply.
Hey, who's to say, wait a second.
It's like you're penalizing somebody.
Oh my God, you're really making my life a
Is it circular reasoning that we're doing over there?
Hmm?
Circular reasoning?
No, but I'm just-
Look it up.
I'm just asking, how about if that lot never gets developed, that lady's owned that lot for 40 years?
Yes,
She's
and,
she doesn't wanna sell it.
Right.
She doesn't care.
and Chris,
So
that's,
it may never
that's-
get developed.
That's
and
great.
this is why I am considering and I'm recommending it for the commission, if they are comfortable with, to do not require a full stormwater blown out submission and peer review, but at least that you can accommodate runoff from the roof and the driveway. That's why.
Okay, so,
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, Rose, when I came here, this is what I was trying to do from the beginning.
Right, but the
Alright,
beginning is
so-
past now, Chris, the beginning is past. The beginning is
If
past.
I felt about that, then you cut me off.
But the beginning is past, we already discussed that. I need the commission to make a motion, so we gotta go home, we still have other things on the
So
agenda.
you would like us to concede
Coming to you.
I am
on
asking.
the full
Yeah.
stormwater, as long as he gives us something for runoff on the
What-
roofs and,
Let me resume. So, at the beginning, when this all started, he did not have enough stormwater drainage, right? He wanted to be in front of the commission, and he wants to do this, and I said, the commission does not comment on stormwater. It has to go through Graves. His engineer chose not to send what she had to Graves, because Graves would have said that was incomplete, because Graves followed the regulations and requested everything the regulation requests, correct? Back and forth goes for weeks and months, doesn't know what to do, and they came the idea, stay under an acre. So he did so, but when the plans came back, there was no stormwater at all, and that's when the concern raised up. Now, I'm taking into consideration the fact that this lot 1 might not ever be developed.
Yeah.
Or if it is developed, it might come through the other side of the town, a part of town with Spencer, which might change the way the runoff occurs. Okay? And it might be from the top, so the water is gonna be running from her to the other lots versus from his lots to hers. So I would feel comfortable recommending that if he agrees to stay under an acre, yet propose the runoff drainage for the driveway and for the roof, the commission could make a decision on that without require full stormwater, full compliance with the regulations.
is that allowed in the bylaw? For us to make
No, it's not.
a change
No.
one way,
No.
but I
And the
suggested
other
a change
issue-
the other way, and we can't do it.
We
And
need
that's
engineer-
why I thought it was time, and that's exactly why I brought it in front of the commission, because that decision
If
just,
it's under an acre, it's under an acre.
but you were,
You can't-
but we're not talking about just your lots, Chris, we're talking about all 5 lots, and that's
You
why,
can't consider somebody else's lot that they.
I
want.
can.
Yes.
We
Is-
can,
I
that's
can.
the whole point of the
I
bylaw.
can, and that's the whole part of the bylaw.
Well, you can vote however you want, it's gonna stay under an acre, and that.
It doesn't,
you
but
saw
but
the
if,
plan.
but if,
You said they were okay with them, and all I did was come in and say, if I need a little bit of room for my
All right,
well, guys, can you do it?
we've
Wait.
heard you repeatedly.
yeah, we just need to discuss within us and make a decision, so, no, if you go that direction, we're not enforcing the regulations the way it's written.
So, but
So,
if you have
Chris-
to do the roof and the gutters, right, are you gonna give me a little bit leeway? It's what I'm saying, it's give and take here, I'm trying to work with you, I'm not saying, like, if you
We-
say, oh, you went 12,000
We
square
don't
feet on
have
this
the
lot.
authority to the give and take until we at least have an engineer decide if that other lot gets developed, will it trigger the stormwater for all 5?
Oh, we
That-
will, we don't need an engineer, clearly, they cannot develop a house with 100 square feet.
Right,
So
so
we
we
already
can't,
know
my
that.
concern as a commission is if we say, well, we're gonna not enforce it because it might not get developed,
Right.
that opens up a whole can of worms.
It does, so that's why we're here. Because
Leave
I
it up to the
didn't
rest of the
wanna,
commission.
I didn't wanna make that decision myself, so.
Well, I think I already had the emails that you were okay with the way the plans were, so it's.
No, I wasn't okay, I never said I was okay.
Yeah.
I asked for the stormwater to be back on the plans, and I have your response, but I never said I was okay.
So
I don't
when-
have that
when I-
email.
When I went to clear lot 4, you said, okay, the clearing area is fine.
That's different than.
Yeah, well, that's
Remember that?
different, I didn't wanna
You
stop you.
that?
No,
Are we-
Chris, I am not planning on stopping you from start your clearing, but I had to bring the discussion from the commission because there was no stormwater at all on your plans. So it was coming in front of them whether you came to me or not. It was a concern of mine and I shared with your engineer and I shared with you. I asked you to please reconsider, having the stormwater on the plans. I don't have your response here, but it was pretty much a no. And that's where my concerns start to come up, because I knew there was a 5th lot. So we're talking, it is something that is gonna happen again. We live in a town where, lots are gonna be developed, and other contractors gonna be running the same you know,
Issue.
and the conversation has to be taken, and it wasn't my, place to make that decision. So I was fine with it once the stormwater was there. I was still on the, Tom asking, let's try to work. He was proposing stormwater, the lots are gonna be under an acre, but then stormwater was gone, and then just raised my concerns, and I thought it was time, okay, just needs to be discussed in a public hearing. Because again, other lots will come along, and as Chris has been doing, is this lot complying? Is this lot complying with the regulations? This lot's disturbing this, is this lot filing for stormwater? So we're gonna have people doing the same. Why is that Chris sites did not comply with full stormwater regulations? And we're gonna have to have a very good answer that, you know, it's acceptable, so we don't start setting precedents that everybody's tailored by their needs, because we have a bylaw to follow, so, and to enforce. Regardless of everyone's personal opinion, it's a bylaw and it needs to be enforced by us. So,
Okay,
Here we
just
are.
email me the section, this is what I wanted, I won't take any more of you guys' time.
oh no,
Email me the section and highlight it in there, right, where the areas that I clear, if I'm the owner of the 4 lots, I know there's 5, I'm the owner of the 4 lots, that I have to show the roof and the driveway drainage, and then I'll take it from there and I'll show it to my engineers, as long as it's in the bylaw, and that's what I have to do, you know.
right, but the
we'll go
commission,
from there.
yeah,
But I need to see that outlined and shown in the bylaw, if you're going by the book.
the commission has not made a
As long as
decision.
that's there,
The commission has not made a decision yet, and what you asking me is pretty much to
Okay.
go the different direction. The bylaw only tells me if you're disturbing more than an acre, you need to comply. There is no highlighting of comply with the roof and the driveway. That is something that we're trying to work with you.
okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, as long as it's in there, I'm more than willing and happy to
Okay, I don't understand.
accommodate that, but if I'm staying under an acre, you know,
We're going nowhere.
would just
Okay,
like to
he's
end
not
the
getting
discussion on it.
You're more than welcome to leave. The discussion's gonna have to continue because, you were,
You can finish it, I'll wait till you guys make a motion, it's
yeah,
fine. I mean, I
thanks.
just-
So the disturbance is over an acre regarding his staying under or not, because we have a 5th lot.
Right,
So
it's gonna trip.
it's
the
gonna
state law.
trigger full compliance, so I guess the question is, does the commission wants to, enforce the
Has
regulations?
that lot
and
been
re-
proven buildable?
And it's show as buildable. Right, it's show as buildable. We could, if the commission does not wanna make a decision now and, Chris is,
Review it first.
but it's not my job to do, contact the property owner, see if the lot is buildable, whether they plan on developing, if the commission feels you need more information before making a decision, but that's information that
Has to
should,
be proven, I know that there's a vernal pool in the middle.
right, so
That's a 200-foot buffer zone, where are you gonna get a septic in a 200-foot buffer?
right, I don't know that, that's what I'm
You
saying.
get it,
If, so,
no septic, no house.
so if you bring that up and you will have, the burden of proof is on the applicant, right? So if you wanna bring, if we wanna not make a motion tonight, and you wanna look at those details, and you can
Oh, I'm
prove to
not
the,
gonna look, it's irrelevant to me, you have to go to the property owner.
Oh my God.
They have,
It
they
is-
have to burden that.
no, it's not. You are the one asking to not comply with the regulations, so if that is brought it to us that, yes, indeed, there is a vernal pool there, yes, indeed, it's not gonna be
Right, so,
developed,
see.
yes, indeed, there is no law 1, then yes, you do not need to comply with the regulations, but as of right now, you do.
Excuse me, Rose. So if you guys understand, if we can find proof that there's no way that the other lot can be built, in which case we won't trip the stormwater, then that would give us an out and have to comply. But the burden of proof, if I understand it, to
Is
say
on the-
whether or
is on
not that
him.
lot is buildable would be on him.
Well, we need proof.
Yes,
Right,
we
but
need
he-
proof.
He's the one
But
that would have
apparently,
to.
he does not wanna be the one to bring that information to us, so then you can either vote without that information or request him to bring the information, so. What do you wanna do, Chris? Would you,
What I don't understand is that I don't know, it looks like Ecotech in the 96 plan has that wetland right in the middle. I don't know where you would get the offsets to that wetland, right? If you look at the plan, I mean, I don't even know if you would need a wetland scientist for that, look at the whole middle.
I don't have a plan for lot one because nobody has filed, so here's where we are right
The
now.
Board of Health has a plan, if you look at the Board of
I-
Health has a plan
I-
for lot one.
I can't do that though.
A septic plan for '03, I can bring it up. There was a proposed buy here, but the wetland in the middle there, there was an
All
'03
right,
plan with.
so Chris, without.
I know about the wetland, but you're bringing up a vernal pool, so a vernal pool is a whole different story. So
Oh,
here,
yeah, I know.
so here's what we have in front of us right now, okay? The commission can make a decision right now and vote whether they will enforce full stormwater compliance from you based on the fact that there are 5 lots and all 5 will be developed, whether it's by you, by somebody else, whether it's just here or in 10 years. Or they can hold on the vote and wait for you to bring us more information related to the lot 1 so they can make a decision then. So it's on you
I'm
to,
gonna send you I'll send you the '03 plan that the Board of Health has. I don't
Okay.
think it ever got approved because there was a wetland in the middle, like I said. It
Okay.
never got approved. So
okay?
we can- Tom Purcell might even know also, so.
I'm just trying
Fire.
I'm just trying to explain that you should be the one providing that information, and that's fine.
Oh,
Now,
okay,
what,
I'll send you the plan.
what about vernal pool? Whoever mentioned that there is a vernal pool there?
Well, it could be possible, I don't know, but it could be possible, right? I
Because
mean,
your lot 2 would be within that 200 feet. Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, there could be, right, but I already got my IDA done.
Right, and your RDA do not show any vernal pool, so that's why I'm wondering where
Okay.
that's coming from.
So
Your
I-
RDA does show
Right.
your wetlands, which I went there and I disagreed with the delineation because I disagree with, I did not confirm the border, I just confirmed that you were outside of the 100 feet. So yes, I know myself that there is a wetland there, but that
Okay.
does not make the law unbuildable,
Right,
right?
okay.
So how do you wanna proceed?
So- Means however you make a motion for you, I mean, I really, if the full compliance has to be met, I mean, there has to be somewhere in the law that just points to it. I mean, I really
It
don't want
does.
to keep going back and forth.
Any development or redevelopment involving multiple separate activities in discontinued locations or in different schedules, if the activities are part of a larger common plan of development that altogether disturbs 1 acre or more of land, then you need to
Yeah.
file for a land disturbance permit. And that you
Okay,
have to
so if I
comply
take-
with
If I
that.
take lot 5 and just get rid of lot 5, just get rid of the lot, don't have to do it anymore?
Well, but the commission hasn't voted yet, so what is your question?
You know what I
If he
mean?
doesn't develop lot 5.
If I don't develop lot 5, then what happens?
How many square feet's the other
Lot
lot? though?
5, you're proposing 10,000 square feet, you'd be at 33 square feet, so no, you would not,
Okay.
well, no, wait.
You can't make that
I
judgment.
can't make that judgment because the A&R is part of, you're trying to confuse me, Chris. Is that your goal?
So all I wanna do here is, Rose, can we just agree to disagree here? I haven't even cleared lot 5, I haven't even touched it, we're gonna work on, 2, 3, and 4. I'm not, you can go by there, I literally have cleared like, I don't know, 7,000 square feet of land to put this house in. Nothing's really even been touched.
I understand, again,
I just thought we had an agreement.
What do we need to do?
Yeah, cause I'm gonna be here all night, so,
I understand, we had until the stormwater was gone, and now it has, the commission has to make the decision. And again, I guess, are we enforcing full regulations, or are we giving him lenience to just stay under an acre and, propose stormwater for roof runoff and driveway runoff? That's the question.
but no, because a caveat to that question is with the understanding that if the other lot gets developed, all the lots are gonna have to deal with
Not if
stormwater.
not if he proposes a certain stormwater drainage for
Oh, I
those
thought you were
lots.
saying if he doesn't include stormwater.
Oh, if he does,
Okay.
yes,
I wanna make sure we're clear on the motion.
yeah.
Because my concern is if we just make a motion that he doesn't have to comply with.
Oh, no, he
stormwater management.
must. He must comply no matter what. My question is it to the full extent? Or, which means drainage analysis report, grades engineering review, and full compliance? Or would you be satisfied that he accommodates roof runoff and driveway runoff? Which it's the only two surfaces that is gonna be causing runoff. And for the record, yeah, go ahead.
My only question is if he does that, what you just said.
Yeah,
And then that other lot, which we don't know or will not be
Yeah,
developed, but if
yeah.
they do develop it,
we would have to allow them to do the same.
and will that comply with the stormwater? management?
Does the bylaw allow us to make that accommodation?
No,
Right, so what I'm confused is if we do agree with what you propose with the driveway and the roof runoff, is that in compliance with the stormwater management?
no.
Then
So
we're not,
we can't do that.
we can't do that.
Well, that's
We can't do it
what,
one way, but we can do it the other way. If we can't do it, we can't do it.
Right.
so can you give me the land disturbance
But what I was trying to do to help them out
In the
is if
office?
we can get proof that lot one is off the table,
Well,
can't be developed,
Right.
then this whole thing is mute. We could say
If he
fine.
stays
we can
below,
give them that accommodation for the roof runoff and whatnot.
But you're not gonna be
Is it gonna
compliant.
come back and bite us sometime, or?
Well, that's why I brought you the public hearing, cause it's not my decision to make.
Yeah, because we had one
Didn't
that was in the middle of development last year where the fifth lot was
Yes,
a different builder.
yep,
And they got saddled with having to deal with all the stormwater.
The
for
basin.
all
Right.
5, and
Yeah.
it was a
Well-
nightmare.
Sorry to be that fifth builder.
right, but back then, they didn't know and we didn't know. Now we do,
Right.
and that's why the regulations were in place.
Was that on Harrington Road?
Yeah,
How'd that turn out?
they had to comply.
I don't know what they did. Depending on the lot.
I don't,
Oh, Harrington Road, no, she actually went back to planning board and changed the A&R back to 4 lots. So. Chris, I just have a question, why did not you purchase lot number 1?
Why did I not purchase lot number one? Because the lady does not, from what I was told, the lady does not want that lot built on. Again, I'm not, I had asked, I know other people that have asked, the lady has no desire to develop that lot.
Because if you,
So,
if,
I'm
again,
just gonna leave it at that. I mean,
if
at the
he
end of the
owned the
day, if I have
lots,
to change
they
Right.
could change the
plan,
A&R and make it 4 lots and develop the 4 lots on an acre, and then there would be an issue, but he doesn't.
would he
want
be
to.
willing to let us give him that accommodation for the roof drain, to control
It's-
some of the runoff off the house? Is he willing to do that?
I don't
Or-
know, but your question was if he complies with stormwater, and it
Well,
doesn't.
Myself, I would take that chance, but that's up to the board.
That's why
It
we're
makes
here.
sense.
That's why we're here, yeah.
I'm willing to accommodate that. If you want me to show the roof in the driveway runoff, listen, I'm not gonna, I understand that you guys have a law that you have to enforce. I just, I'm not clearing a lot of land over there, and it's just, it's small houses.
Well, let's take a vote on that accommodation so we can get out of here.
I'm sorry, she's just bringing me an application, it's called the land disturbance application. There is one for minor, disturbance, and I don't know what the regulation says,
Because if you want me to show that, I'll have Liz put those on every one of the plans. And all I'm asking is, if Charlton Well needs, a little bit of area to get, I just want the commission to be able to work with me a little bit, and I'll give you the roof and driveway. It's not that I'm not, it's give and take. I can't just ask you for nothing and then, you know what I mean?
just a second, just give me a second.
If that puts all this to rest, then, and I'm okay with that. I'm not looking nothing for nothing.
So, oh, Jesus.
Is this for
Can you
underneath?
just give me a second? I just wanted to check something else. Again, this is all new to me, and as we're talking, things are,
I mean, if we
Comment
try
to
to
my
follow
mind.
the intent of what we have, what we're working with here,
we need to be careful not to set a precedence too. It's very tricky. That's why we're having this discussion in a public hearing, because I was looking for the application itself and it's not here. This is what I submitted to them. I issued to, oh, wait a minute, it's here. I thought it was gonna be a long meeting, so all my desk
it's-
near the window.
it sounds like he's willing to go along with the offer you suggested, so,
Well, I was just
as a
bringing.
member of the board, let's vote on it.
I didn't, it wasn't a
No, I'll
suggestion,
just
it
do
was
it,
that
you know?
he brought it to us that way, and at the time, we were just looking at the 4 lots, and the lot 1 was like out of thought. And it was with Mitchell, and clearly it was with his engineer, because she would have known that 5 lots would never stay over an acre, and he probably missed that as well. Again, it's the first time everybody was trying to accommodate everybody needs and enforce our regulations, and we pretty much left lot 1 to the side, and that's why we're here. So I don't know what the commission,
Well,
Well, like I said, I'm willing to work with that, if, you know, again, I don't want to waste you guys' time, I feel like this is going on and on. If we
well,
can
it had to,
accommodate
it
that,
had to be
then-
discussed, so.
Well, you did give the option, and I'm willing to take the option.
But to be clear on the option would be, you wanna make the assumption, just so I understand what we're voting on, that lot 1 won't be developed, and we won't be tripping the stormwater.
No, not only that, if he only complies, if he we have never had a stormwater application from them. The stormwater calculations, as you know, was never been submitted to Graves for review. Yes. So he would not be, I believe he would not be, complying for stormwater. I don't know, I'm not an engineer. It was never
No, that's
sent
not
to
my point.
Graves.
Not my point. My
Yeah.
point is, if we grant what he's asking for, then
Yeah.
he adds the roof runoff, he adds
Okay.
the driveway runoff.
Yep,
And we say yay tonight,
yep,
we're making the assumption that the other lot's not gonna get developed, because once it's getting developed, then they're all,
Would not
they're,
comply.
they're gonna all be tripping the stormwater.
well, we
Not
could give
really,
that lot-
because-
We could give that lot the same,
yes, but I don't know if what he's proposing,
Would take care of it
it
anyways.
will be enough to comply with the regulations.
That's
I
what I'm
mean,
asking.
Yeah, right. Myself, if I'm gonna compare his lots with other lots that we have approved stormwater, I believe you will. It's gravel, it's pure gravel. The perk rate was not even able to read because the water infiltrates so fast that they couldn't read it, so they just had to come up with the
So we
number.
just basically need an engineer to say, check the box that it's, whether it's complying.
Right,
sorry.
but the engineer is gonna say you're not in compliance, that's why his engineer did not submit it to Graves, because Graves would say,
would've been done.
you're not in compliance with the regulations. That's why she never submitted to Graves, because she knew the regulations, it was in front of her, and
So
what she
there's some data missing.
what she was proposing, it was what she thought was sufficient for the lots, but it was not in compliance with the regulation. So every engineer that will send that to is gonna say, okay, it's not in compliance with the regulations. I don't know what else you wanna tell me. It's not in compliance with the
Well,
regulations.
also, when we did show the limit of work there too, you know, I paid Liz to get that on there too, to get under that square footage mark too, so I have made adjustments to accommodate it. I haven't just totally ignored it.
Okay,
I paid her to show the first lot, with the roof and the driveway, even though we didn't go with it, I still had to pay her to show it. And then I also had to pay her to show the limit of work and redo all the designs to move the wells and move things around to get everything accommodated. So again, I'm not I wasn't totally ignoring it. If the roof and the
Right.
driveway, you know, have to be shown, and that makes the commission happy, well, you know, I don't want.
We haven't made that
to do
decision yet, does
nothing.
that make you happy?
No, but we can't make, what your understanding is if the Graves or whoever we use would have to take a look at the drainage calculations based on where the water's going off the roof, where the water's going off the driveway, and saying, does that comply with the stormwater management? Do I understand that right?
We can make our offer subject to his engineer's, you know, calculations on the runoff. Driveway and roof, right?
Is a driveway and roof, correct?
Right,
But the
Graves-
way,
Still not
Graves would
taking
have to
into
do-
account
but the way
lot
she
one.
submitted, the
But if
way
she
she
resubmits
submitted.
But
it,
if she resubmits
she
it with all
resubmits
that
it, and then
information.
Graves
I don't
reviews
think
it.
he wants that, though. He doesn't wanna,
No, he just said
He
that
just,
he
I
would,
think
he
will.
would, he would have her
if
redo it.
she submitted the calculations that she submitted initially,
Right, but we're giving her a chance
Graves,
to resubmit it.
but Graves is gonna say it's incomplete. That's the problem.
Can Graves send her a letter what they need, so we can try to?
Yeah, but he doesn't wanna comply, that would be full regulations. And does he wanna pay $1,500 per review for each lot for Graves to say does not?
Yeah, I just thought,
Right.
sorry, when you had said that if you stay under the 43,000 square feet in the email, I thought
Yep.
if I paid Liz to redo the designs to show everything to be under that, I
Yep.
thought that, you know, and she charged me, you know, good money to do that, and I did that, assuming that that was what the commission
Oh,
or
no, he's
the
trying to
agent,
throw
which
the-
is you, was looking for.
No, we got
We
it.
understand all
He's
that,
disturbing
Chris.
so little on each lot. Most builders would disturb 30,000 square feet on a lot. But he's disturbing very, very little.
We understand that, Mitch. The problem is the way the
I'd be
bylaws,
happy with the roof and driveway runoff being controlled.
we don't disagree with that. The issue, if we understand the bylaws, is as part of the whole A&R, once you're over 1 acre, it trips the stormwater regs, which I'm not an engineer, I don't know all that's involved. For all I know, if he submits the drainage calculation, or his engineer does, saying, this is where the water's gonna go, this is where it's gonna go in these small lots, and it meets stormwater, that's fine. But my understanding from Rose is,
It does not meet full compliance with all with all
and what she doesn't want us, if I understand you right, is tell Chris that he's gonna pay, well, if it's $1,500 a lot.
15 per
times
lot.
4, that's $6,000, knowing full well
That
that
they're gonna
Graves is
say-
gonna say,
he's gonna say no, and
Say
that's,
complete.
and that's why his engineer didn't wanna submit it to him, cause she knew it was not in
Not only that,
compliance.
you gotta remember that calculations, right, calculations cost thousands and you need a stormwater specialist.
Yep,
A regular engineer doesn't handle that. So you have to look at why the argument's happening here, and it's not really, it's.
yeah, but that is another
It's a little bit
discussion.
more, you know, it's, you know.
That's another
1,500
discussion.
Per lot,
It's,
and, you know,
Chris,
$4,000
that,
to $5,000.
the cost, it's another discussion that's, you know, it's just the cost, and so the commission now, new regulations, the regulations are being revised, in 6 months, we have new stormwater regulations, I'm probably gonna be giving my resignation then, but, burden of costs, it's no longer gonna be, a matter that's gonna be taken into consideration for, because we need to be requesting more green infrastructure when we're dealing with stormwater versus swales and things like that. And the reason that we don't
Right.
enforce that is because it's more expensive. And a lot of towns are getting by with that, but new regulations for stormwater is being straight clear that this is no longer,
up to discretion.
up to discretion. It's gonna have to be enforced, so I just don't know what's gonna happen then. As I say, then, writing my
But can we,
resignation letter.
so we gotta wrap,
Yeah,
so,
that's what's on the table, full compliance, or we agree with managing just the runoff or the calculations that was submitted before, but I would still wanna have those plans resubmitted, brought in front of the commission for review. And I would also like the commission to make a vote, to make sure that at the end of all, we have the exact number of the total disturbance that was on the lots combined. Because, you know, where's the line? We're talking about plus or minus 43,000 feet.
Yeah.
If he runs 5,000 feet here, you know,
1%.
square feet here,
1%.
but then suddenly he's out over 25,000 square feet. So we need to make sure that that also doesn't happen, so that's what we are now. So full compliance, have a good day, submit it, Graves Engineering, and have it reviewed or accept the
Resubmittal.
resubmittal of the just runoff with the intent that he will stay under 1 acre. And if he is for some reason to disturb, I don't know, and that's the thing, you know, what are you gonna give him? Maybe an extra 1,000 square footage here, 2,000 square, I don't know. And that's what it turns into messy, because where do you draw the line? At 10,000 square feet per lot, now you completely, and then we have another application coming in front of us, well, but you allow him to go over 10,000 square feet, so I just need 15. And by the end of the year, they're doubling the disturbance because we keep giving lenience, so it has to be discussed because it's a point.
I mean, he's
And
go-
again, this is not against your project at all, Chris, it's just a conversation that's gonna happen more and more often as more developments come to town, so we're just having
Again, I
it.
just think it's going, yeah.
Yeah, we're just getting it.
I just, like I said, I feel like this is going on too long, but I have the email. The 43,000 square feet was met. I mean, you shouldn't tell me that, and then I go and make the design.
No, we got it,
and then tell me now there's a vote.
I understand, you made the design, but you came back,
That's going backwards.
you
can't do it.
made the design, you came back without stormwater. And not only that, your engineer,
And then you told my
Can we-
engineer she
can
could
we-
do that.
I told your
She did
engineer,
it, and I told her to
yes.
do that.
So,
All right.
as I said, I need to
So
respond to
I
that.
have that in the email. You can't
Yes.
make a decision after you make a decision.
So Chris, as I'm explaining to you, it was an error from my
I'll
part.
send you the emails.
I have the email, are we going to be
Okay.
arguing or can I just talk?
No, because that's costing me money for you.
I understand that, but guess what?
So that's not fair to me.
But guess what? Your engineer had the regulations in front of her that mentioned that exactly what I read here, and she was aware of law number 1. So all 3 of us missed that. So that's not just on me. Yes, I did say if you stay
I mean,
over an
I
acre.
can't- I mean,
You
I
knew
can't
there was a
make
law
that
1,
goes up, though.
and she knew there was a
Goes
law
up because,
1.
like, we have proof of it.
And I'm saying, you
All
don't
right,
need, you
all
don't
right,
need
all
to
right,
bring
We're
proof.
going round and round, can we please?
Yeah, we don't need proof, I
Nick?
know what I said and what I wrote.
Thank you. Do we have any motions?
I don't think we have enough information.
Need more information.
For what?
Because according to the regulation, we have to take into account lot 1,
Unless it's not buildable.
unless it's not
Which we
buildable.
don't
But we
know.
have no evidence that it's not buildable, or that it can't be drained out a different direction away from this other property. We don't have any of that. If we knew any of that, then we could say, oh, there's a vernal pool, it's unbuildable. Okay. It's never gonna be a building permit issued there.
Right. In which case, it's mute. But we need that information.
And usually a vernal pool is marked
There
on
is no-
a
there is no-
deed or on a lot.
It
It'll
is my
show
opinion
it.
that there is no vernal pool there, but I'm not a
But then we don't know if
scientist.
it's still buildable, but the upland too, right?
If there was divided, it's part of the ANR, it had enough uplands for
Go with-
developments,
okay.
yes.
So right now, in theory, it's buildable.
Right now, yes.
Unless another wetland scientist goes out, reflags it and says, no, it's the one that originally was done was wrong and there's more wetlands and it's not buildable.
Or the property chooses not to develop. And I think that the reason we all missed lot 1 was because of, probably we thought it wouldn't be developed, or the waiver that we gave, that the wetlands was there, like no one would like to be going through that and put a driveway through that wetlands. And, yes, I did say that if you stay on an acre, you wouldn't comply, and I pretty much missed lot 1.
No, we got that. So your point is you were thinking about making a motion to give him the opportunity to determine whether or not lot 1 can be built.
How big is lot one?
Chris, do you have that information? Do you know how big
Yeah,
lot
so
one?
it's 1.377
Oh, yeah.
acres.
He has
So
a-
I know that somebody was.
It meets the 60,000 square feet, it meets the zoning.
It meets, yeah, and it meets the upland requirement for development.
It meets the zoning, but I don't know if the septic would have the offset to the wetlands.
Oh, yeah,
I really don't
what is
know.
the information of the septic that you
Does-
mentioned that was not approved?
Is there a lot of groundwater, is there a lot of water on that swamp or wetlands?
There is a wetlands.
Well, again, he can't,
It's a
they can't
wetland.
access from the upland.
Ecotech has it as, Ecotech has it as a wetland right
It's a
now,
wetland,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
Would
It would
that
be
lot,
hard to, it would be,
would that lot meet the 2/3 upland?
Yes,
Huh?
yes,
It does.
it does. On the ANR, it does.
I think this needs, I mean, in my opinion, I think it needs to be continued. I wanna dig down here a little bit and, you know, I gotta.
Make a motion to
I
continue.
just have, I have to see, you know, I have all these emails where
Oh my gosh.
I did what I was asked to do.
I know, but
And
I think,
now it's coming back to bite me after I paid for it.
I think it
So-
makes sense to continue.
You
It's
know,
up
I
to the
just, I
board.
have plenty of emails here. I just
Chris,
think
we
that the
understand you
commission
have the
needs
emails. I'm not denying the fact that I asked you
to-
to stay on the acre.
Your
All right,
personal
all right,
agenda needs to
okay,
be-
thank you.
I was, you know.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I asked you, no, I said, I just don't want this to be a personal agenda. This was,
I don't know what you mean by personal agenda.
well,
Personal
I
attack.
asked you, you know, you had said if you stay under an acre, so I
Oh,
paid my
my.
engineer
But,
to
it's
do
all
that.
right, let's, you wanna make a,
All right, I will
Motion to
be
continue?
recommended to continue this because you're getting out of topic.
Yeah, I
I-
can't,
I have a motion to continue.
I'll second. Have it voted on 2 months
Second.
later,
Aye.
after I paid my engineer to
Aye.
fix it.
Yep,
aye, continue?
I don't think anybody would be happy about that.
We have
Yep.
four continues.
okay, we're continuing it.
I just as soon not get into the farmland thing tonight, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's super quick.
Oh.
Chris, thank you for coming up. We'll have it back on, we're continuing for what though? That's-
September, because they, what, we
That's
want,
another month, he has to start working.
Well, I mean, whatever, I don't really know what there is to vote on.
That's
I have
another
the-
month.
Well,
I
they-
have the emails here, I had my
Oh my
engineer do
gosh.
it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's
Well,
gonna, that's what.
the commission members asked if they can get more correct me if I'm wrong, more information
On lot one.
on lot one, and if it's buildable, and
The law, but I'm telling you that the law is buildable, it meets upland requirements for developments. The only information that we might have is the fact that maybe the property owner chooses not to develop. That's just what it is.
Would you put that in?
I'm gonna come
deed?
back in
How can
another.
we ever know that they'll never
Right,
develop it?
unless
we'll
if there's a
continue,
legal
but
deed that says it's not gonna be developed.
Right.
we'll continue this for another month for no reason. I'm just saying,
No, I understand where you're coming from.
yeah,
And the
because I don't have
conditions.
any more information to give it to you.
In which,
Under conditions, if they get it in a deed.
We can't ask that, that's
Non-buildable.
for somebody else's lots, yeah.
well, could we, I'm just asking.
I can't go on her lot and do anything because.
Can
I
we
don't
ask-
Oh, no, that's
have
not
the
what they
right to do
asked, yeah, they did not ask
Could
that.
they, could we approach the owner of lot one and find out?
Ask?
Yeah,
that. I mean, she would have to.
and we
prove
present it
that
to her and say,
somehow.
listen, if you develop it, this is what's gonna happen.
So you wanna ask her if she plans on developing the lot?
Well, I
What
mean,
if
it's
she
not just-
sells and somebody else
Also,
develops?
yeah, it's
Right.
not just her. If she doesn't wanna develop it, that's fine.
No,
but-
no, I'm just,
Yeah,
She
Yeah.
wants to claim it
yeah,
that lot, non-buildable.
I'm just telling you what these guys are asking. You're
Yeah.
asking me why we're continuing.
yeah, yeah, right,
So, correct me if I'm wrong, we wanna find out whether or not she's gonna build it or not.
and what if she,
And let her know if they build it, she's gonna have to comply with stormwater and make
But
it
not
aware.
just her lot, but all four,
Right.
all of them.
and
I
you-
understand your frustration, you understand, but
yeah,
I understand.
and you're gonna make a determination based on what she says?
But we need, if
You
you,
can't, it would have to be a legal
Legal
document.
deed restriction.
And would she ever commit to that?
I
I
think
wouldn't.
that's a
Yeah.
big stretch, yeah, no. So hence, therefore, we don't have any additional information to supply, and I would prefer this to be over tonight, I'm
I
sorry.
understand that.
I
but
can't-
you
I
asked me
can't
what the
go
commi-
back and forth.
You
Yeah,
asked
yeah,
me
yeah,
what the
I
commission
know,
was
I
doing,
know.
I'm just, I'm telling you.
I'm sorry, I was talking to him, I didn't hear you
Oh.
guys, yeah.
All
So-
continue. Need to continue for more information,
I
What's your
don't,
motion?
That was the motion he made, yeah.
more information,
right,
That
but,
was motion.
continue,
and I'm discussing the motion, I don't have any more information to supply.
okay.
He does not have any more information to supply.
I think I should, I'd like to continue it so that I can pull up all my emails here.
He's-
No, hold on,
the
no,
applicant's
wait,
asking
wait,
for commi-
just to show the
continuance.
commission what was said to me, and then
I
we can
can't
have a
enable
vote.
him for the
If they feel like, what was said
I
to
just
me was
can't.
inaccurate, and I'm
I
at
can't.
fault, and I should do it, I'm more than happy to do
How
it, but
much is that?
I was going by what I was told by the conservation agent.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what,
Based off
I
of
think
the-
we're already, you have repeated that 4 times. We got it that, you repeated it 4 times.
I'm saying that because.
We heard it. Can you ask him to stop talking?
Yes, please, could we,
Through the chair, can you please ask him to stop repeating the
yes,
same?
Chris, we heard you.
I
repeatedly.
made a statement that I understand and I don't need emails because I did write it saying that if you stay under an acre, you don't need to comply with full stormwater. Your engineer also made a mistake because she should have seen that regardless you stayed under an acre or not, you'd have to comply because that's what the bylaw says. It was a contentious conversation, it was all over it. It was the first time everybody oversaw some details, and that's where we are. I understand
So-
that, and I'm already saying that. So I don't want to be attacked. There's no attack. There's no personal agenda. There's nothing personal here. It just has a bylaw that we have to follow, and we're trying to find the best. So please stop repeating it.
All right, so the motion is whether or not we're gonna grant his submittal to not comply with stormwater
Fully.
fully, which is essentially, is either complying or you're not. I don't understand, it's like kind of being
Right.
partially pregnant, you do in
Right.
between, you're either complying or you're not.
Well, if I send that, the plans that he submitted initially to Graves, Graves is like, what am I reviewing here? If I ask him review for stormwater compliance, he's gonna say it's incomplete.
Right,
So that's why we stopped.
right,
So we're here again, and I don't have a way of telling you that what she's, in my personal opinion, and I'm not an engineer, what she's proposing is enough.
Could they just do one review of one lot to see if it is enough?
no.
No, because
Oh.
it's not complying.
No.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
No, it's all of them together.
and I
But
spoke,
right now, we're asking to vote on approving something that we don't have the information on whether or not it's complying.
correct.
Okay, so what are we gonna do here?
I don't know, that's why we're here. I just don't wanna
I guess
continue
nothing.
it, because there's nothing to continue, there's nothing else.
There's nothing for us to, there's nothing submitted to us, right? Except those plans, right?
They were giving to me just as a courtesy, like, they have not made a submission because they stayed under an acre. So we have what's called the,
Well,
Yeah, to answer your question, yes, we don't have all the
Then if he
information.
continues without coming here, because he's under that assumption,
if I ask him to file me, he's gonna have to go to Graves, and Graves is gonna say it's incomplete because it's not compliant with full stormwater. That's the whole thing, that's why he never filed, that's why he never came here.
So there's been no official filing.
No, that's why he was never in our agenda, because there was never been an official filing.
he doesn't have any building permit or anything yet.
He does not wanna send it to Graves Engineering, because the Graves is gonna
Wants to have
review.
a building
There's a
permit.
building
Oh,
permit.
building,
Building.
no.
No.
And I can't push another month, because if he files for the building, I am not able to sign off, and I don't wanna continue this. I wanted to either tell him, stop it, file for compliance, or we're satisfied with this based on the information we have. That's where we are.
So we're basically asking him, if he wants our approval, he's gotta submit the right application.
He's gonna have to submit a land disturbance application that requires, where did it go? And that's what I have been dealing for the past 4
No,
months,
I
so,
understand
and
that.
that's
just
why
want-
I
I just
missed,
wanna summarize for the.
yeah, and that's
the
why
board,
I
the board.
missed lot 1, his engineer missed lot 1, he
No, we-
missed lot
I-
1,
I got that.
everybody missed lot 1.
I got that, I just wanna know what we're asking the board members to vote on.
So he will file for a land disturbance application, what's called the major permit, because the land disturbance is undertaking on a single property or is part of a larger common plan of development or sale that results in a total cumulative disturbance of land that meets or exceeds 1 acre of area. That's the permit he's gonna be filing. This permit does not need to come from the commission. I am the one who reviews it and approves it by law. It does not need to come in front of us, of you guys. But it can, in this case probably will. So what it requires is erosion and sediment control plan, operation and maintenance plan.
And we got that, but you need a motion from us.
So
for-
we don't even have to vote on it, I guess. If it's not allowed, it's not allowed. There's nothing for us to vote on.
I could not make that decision myself, so I wanted the discussion to be from the commission. It's a unique situation. It is, he doesn't wanna comply, he doesn't wanna fully comply. So we figured if he stayed under an acre, he didn't have to comply fully.
But we
But
don't,
then he
Lot
removed
line.
the stormwater, and that concerned me. And in the process of that concern,
You just-
when he came to talk to me, he brought up law 1, and that when I was like, wait a minute, there is another lot, so it doesn't really matter. He
So
was
then-
going to be over an acre, so everybody
But I
missed law 1.
understand your point, is
Yeah.
that he-
Yeah.
she could say, as the, correct me if I'm wrong, the one that enforces the stormwater regs, you could deny the application.
Yes.
We don't have to vote on it.
No, I can deny the application with saying that was not,
But you wanted to let us know why. You'd be denying
what
it.
was going on?
yeah.
Okay. So to answer your question, yeah, she could deny it without our vote.
But,
You can deny the permit, it just would, you know, it would just be taken just another direction at that point, you know, I mean, if we
Yeah.
can't come to a decision.
I understand,
you
it's
have
just
a
customized law,
thought on
yeah.
it, I have a thought on it,
Yeah.
you know, it'll just go that way. I mean,
Anyways,
there's really
so-
nothing more to
so-
argue about,
All right,
Don't
Chris,
even-
you know?
so we're not here to midnight, what does the commission, just so you understand, from what I understand correctly, is
I will ask him to file the land disturbance application with the plans showing some type of stormwater
compliance.
drainage for the roof and for the driveway. I'll review that myself.
I would go along with that.
The commission already knows what it is, if he's willing to put it back, the stormwater drainage on those 4 lots. And based on the information that I have on those lots that are gravel, that the perk test, the water infiltrate on that ground in less than 2 minutes. Because that it's a good thing for us, because means that any runoff is gonna be absorbed
Right.
fast, so you're not gonna have the runoff into the butter side.
And at the same time, we're following the intent of the law. We're trying to protect the property.
W-
So
We are
that-
following
I
the
agree with you.
intent as there will be, the intent is that, the bylaw is that the the post-development does not exceed the runoff from the pre-development.
Right.
So, right now, clearly it's not going anywhere. But once he builds a roof and a driveway, they're gonna have more water runoff. If he can accommodate those two,
He should be able to
I
direct
believe,
it to a dry well or something.
If my
yeah.
engineer, so Rose, I just.
So,
Just a second, Chris,
So
just a
that's the
second.
motion you're looking for?
Yes.
Do I have a motion for?
I'll make that motion.
So you can discuss the motion out to accept, to have the property owner to file land disturbance application, submitting the plans that I have here, showing that he's going to stay under 1 acre or intends to stay under an acre, but will provide stormwater drainage for the roof and for the driveway.
That's fine.
So a second?
Okay, now, what?
Second.
All in favor?
Just without,
Aye.
Before you, yep,
without these, so basically what Liz showed you on lot 4. Remember the first one with the drainage, the roof and the driveway?
I
She
really,
put those on all, go ahead.
she only showed me 1 lot, but I honestly, Chris, I don't recall what lot that was.
Okay,
Right, but
so
he's
lot
asking if he
4,
can
but
submit it
we-
for all
we
4.
propose that on each one of the lots. The
That-
same roof and driveway, we're good to go.
That's the motion. assuming that your engine,
And I think that's pretty easy for him to do,
yes,
to comply with.
I mean, it was there initially, yeah.
I'm willing to do that.
All right.
If the group in the driveway.
He's agreeing with
thought,
it.
we'll
I wanna get out of
agree
here.
with that. I'll have, you know, as long as you don't have to do that.
Aye.
Aye.
The motion was made that I'll be sending you an email or a letter saying that the commission has voted that you will be filing a land disturbance application, submitting what you request, which is erosion control and things like that, and, if needed, and we'll be submitting the plans that I have with accommodations for the roof and the driveway runoff.
Okay, which was the first plan Liz sent you?
Again,
Basically, you wanna
I don't-
do that
I
on
don't-
every lot.
Again, I don't know, I really don't
Right.
remember.
Just have them send,
Okay.
have her resend that.
Just
for
send
us so you can
She,
look at
she's
it.
gonna have to have the calculations for each lot based on each lot disturbance that will support the runoff from the roof and from the driveway.
You can send him in.
Most
engineering.
builders do try to do what we just allowed here.
I know that, yeah,
I
but
mean,
you,
it comes
but
automatically.
it does, but it goes through a peer review process that is looked at our detailed bylaws, and he didn't go to that. And to make him spend $6,000 on peer review for
Right.
grades to say, well, you're not complying with full regulations.
Right.
it-
No, we
I
got it,
didn't
got it.
want him going through that.
Right,
Because the board made a decision. That's what we're here for.
That's why I wanted to bring it over here.
right.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
We're good with that.
Okay,
We doing the
All right,
final act, or we
Chris.
adjourn?
I gotta go. Good night, sir.
I think we want,
good night, Chris.
can we
He's gone.
He's gone.
Can we table the
He's
final act
jumping
thing?
up and down. Joey.
The farmland is just a motion to accept the map soil that was submitted to me. I just need a motion.
We accept the farmland motions. Do we accept the farmland motion?
The
The mapping of the
mapping of
farmland.
the soil, yeah. The
Yeah.
soil
Yes,
mapping.
make a motion that we,
Thank
Motion
you.
accept, yay. Motion to get the,
But not for
Outta here.
anything. If I was submitting those plans, and that's what I was asked
Ah.
to do, all that would have been on those plans. Nothing would have been removed. The roofs,
That's
the
what
driveways, all would have been there.
Can I have a
because
motion to-
You're the one.
motion to
Adjourn?
adjourn.
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you.